Hello and welcome, friend. We have a gift of time for you today. It is a free self-study workshop called the Time Challenge, making every moment in life count. We are the Way of Truth. I am Wendy, and I am going to be facilitating this workshop. You'll see also there in the picture is our other life coach here at the Way of Truth. That is Shelley Chase, writer and life happiness coach. And we're going to zip right through this. If you haven't already, go to thewayofTruth.live/time and download and print out your worksheets that you can use alongside this training. Go ahead and push pause, go do that, come right back. We'll be right here. And here we go. So when it comes to time management, there are 3 essential elements to becoming a good time manager. So we're going to cover all 3 of those essential parts today. They are 1, how we organize our time, which includes working on our most important tasks during the times we have peak energy and making good use of our lower energy times. How we prioritize our time by identifying the important tasks we want to accomplish and working on them first, and how we eliminate distractions by avoiding common time distractors that drain us of our energy. So here we go. There's so much to do, so little time. There we go. How to organize your time, how to prioritize your tasks, how to eliminate distractions. Now, it may not seem like it, but we really do have a choice in how we spend our time. The fact is, there is enough time to do what's most important to us. This means that we have to become masters of how we use our time. That's what we're going to be exploring today. If you were going to introduce yourself, what information would you tell people first? And if you only had enough time to mention a few things, what would you share first? So here are some things you could share. You might talk about your pets, your favorite color, an unusual hobby, your age, where you live, where you were born, your favorite meal, a food you don't like, your shoe size, how you would spend your lottery winnings, a dream place you'd visit, your favorite movie, a celebrity you'd be mistaken for, your favorite sport, birthstone, favorite season. So make a few notes. If you just had a little bit of time, what would you choose to share? What 5 of these pieces of information could you choose to share? Each of us has only been given 24 hours in our day, even though we act as if our time was unlimited. The fact is, though, none of us has enough time to do everything, and so that means we must prioritize our activities. This is no different than having to prioritize what you would tell others about yourself. You have to focus on what's most important. Good time management is all about prioritizing what matters most and then pursuing those things and not concerning yourself with the rest. So, as I said before, effective time management comprises 3 essential parts. First up is organizing your time. Everyone's energy timetable is different. Some of us are morning people, others are night owls. One secret to effective time management is to find those times of high energy or prime energy and make sure you are organizing important tasks around these times. It's during times of prime energy that you will find yourself to be the most alert, most enthusiastic, and most creative. So now's a good time to take out worksheet number 1, My Prime Time. Think of a typical day in your life with which to graph your energy level. Place a dot in the box that best represents your energy during each hour. And work quickly. Don't think too hard about precisely identifying your energy level during each hour. A general assessment will do. And then when you do that, draw a line to connect the dots. Examine your energy peaks and valleys represented in the graph. And now make some notes. How aware do you think people are of their prime energy and low energy times? How effectively do you think people manage their prime energy time so that they spend it on tasks that are most important? And what gets in the way of us using our prime energy time for our most important tasks? Here are some helpful tips for maximizing your high energy times. Plan ahead to use your prime energy times for those important tasks that require greater effort and attention. Save routine work for your low energy periods. Strive to keep interruptions to a minimum or eliminate them completely during your prime energy times. It's important that you develop effective strategies for organizing your time and energy. The good news is that you can take advantage of some simple time management to help you do this. So let's take a look at what these time management steps are. So pull out worksheet number 2, the 4 steps to being an effective time manager. And take some notes on the worksheet of the key points that you feel most strongly about. And when I'm done with this short little lecture, I'm going to ask you to identify what stood out for you, and again, make notes on your worksheet. The 4 steps to being an effective time manager. Try following these steps to make the most of your limited time and energy. Number 1, identify goals. Goals enable us to identify important tasks, projects, and desired outcomes. They help us stay motivated and on track. When we don't have goals, or at least a daily to-do list, our days are at risk of veering off course with any distraction that comes along. 2, set priorities. The objective of time management is to allocate time more wisely. This step involves identifying priority tasks we must accomplish if we want to reach our goals. Knowing priorities will do 2 things. 1, it gives us something to focus on so we can develop a plan of action in advance. And 2, it helps us set up a schedule that effectively utilizes our prime energy times. Make a plan. For effective time management, it is critical that we make wise choices when setting priorities. One of the best ways to waste time is to have no plan or priorities. We are usually far less productive without a plan and spend time working on things that do not move us toward our goals. And monitor your activity. It's critical to be aware of anything that's preventing us from accomplishing our plan, our priority tasks, and ultimately our important goals. By monitoring our activities, we can be sure that distractions and interruptions aren't derailing us. And if they are derailing us, we can do something to minimize or eliminate them and get back on track. So now just take a few moments to solidify your notes. And now I have some more questions for you to journal about. So once you've organized your tasks and aligned it with your peak energy times, you can now look at the essential part of time management, which is how you prioritize your time. So let's look at this now. Prioritizing can be challenging, especially when we think everything we have to do is important. But is everything really important? Managing time effectively entails identifying goals, breaking those goals into tasks, and then prioritizing those tasks. This requires us to first create a thorough to-do list of our tasks so that we can prioritize them. And when we prioritize, we are making sure we accomplish the most important tasks first. So now let's go ahead and pull out worksheet number 3, Master To-Do List. And note this worksheet is 2 pages in length. I'm going to guide you through several steps of creating a master to-do list that you will prioritize. And I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to write down the tasks, both mundane and critical, that you need to accomplish over the next 24 hours. Use your daily planner if needed, and don't rank the items at this point. Do include routine tasks. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes to work on that. And when you're complete there, I want you to identify those tasks that could be removed from your lists because they could be delegated to someone else. So take another few moments to review your lists and mark off these tasks. There's no need to identify who the task could be delegated to. It's enough just to know that the task can be delegated. And now categorize the remaining tasks according to each task's importance and urgency. So urgent tasks cause us to react. We stop what we're currently doing and address those tasks instead. These can be important tasks like a medical emergency, or unimportant tasks like an email from a client needing something right now. Important tasks lead us toward our overall life goals, which typically require planning, organization, and initiative. These can be urgent tasks like filing our taxes on time, and non-urgent tasks like goal setting for the future. And now you'll rank your tasks by an ABC prioritization scale. So A is important and urgent. This is the crisis zone, which represents tasks that are important and also need to be done immediately. So examples of important and urgent are term paper deadline, taxes due, the car breaks down, medical emergency, school principal calls, unexpected work project due today. B is important but not urgent. This is the goals and planning zone, which represents tasks that are important but do not need to be done right away. So examples of important but not urgent are weekly planning, long-term planning, exercising, family time, hobby, studying, meditating. C, urgent but not important. This is the interruption zone. which represents tasks that have urgency to them but are not important. Examples of urgent but not important are phone calls, text messages, some emails. Your coworker asks for a favor. Your mom drops in unannounced and needs help. And then we've got not urgent and not important. This is the distraction zone, which represents tasks which are neither urgent nor important. So examples of not urgent and not important are watching TV, mindlessly surfing the web, playing video games, scrolling through social media, gambling, and shopping sprees. So use this ABC prioritization system to prioritize your tasks. Which task would you consider both important and urgent? Place an A next to those. Assign a B next to the tasks you would say are important, but not urgent. Then place a C next to those tasks you would deem urgent, but not important. And assign no designation to those tasks you see as neither important nor urgent. So I'm going to say go ahead and pause this recording and work on that worksheet, and then unpause when you're complete. All right. So how many tasks did you assign an A to? How about a B? What kinds of tasks were given a C? What kinds of tasks did you decide were neither important nor urgent? To what extent do non-designated tasks populate your to-do list? And what's the implication of this? With our master to-do list complete and tasks categorized along the lines of importance and urgency, we can now further determine which tasks are the most important. By ranking task importance within a category, we can make sure our limited time is being dedicated to what matters most. So now pull out worksheet number 4, Time Management Grid. Time management grids are an important way to think about how to prioritize your tasks. There is a constant pull on our time between tasks that are important and tasks that are urgent. The problem with important tasks is that they often do not have to be done right away, whereas urgent tasks call for immediate action. As a result, we seem to be busy, but it still feels like we aren't achieving anything of real significance. With a time management grid, you can look at your tasks from the criteria of both importance and urgency and how best to prioritize them. Take the items you have prioritized on your master to-do list in the last activity and place them on the time management grid in the appropriate categories. Top left, A, important and urgent. This is the crisis zone, which represents tasks that are important and also need to be done immediately. Bottom left, B, important but not urgent. This is the goals and planning zone, which represents tasks that are important but do not need to be done right away. Top right, C, urgent but not important. This is the interruption zone, which represents tasks that have urgency to them but are not important. And bottom right, not urgent and not important. This is the distraction zone, which represents tasks which are neither urgent nor important. So now take 2 minutes to place your tasks in the appropriate category on the grid. If more than one task ends up in a category, Further ranking of those tasks within that category may need to be considered. So go ahead and pause this recording, take a few minutes to complete that worksheet, and then come on back when you're done. All right, welcome back. I urge you to consider, how is the time management grid here helpful? Why is it important to rank the tasks that have been placed in the same category? The time management grid can help you more effectively schedule the tasks you need to complete and thus use your time more wisely. Completing your most important A tasks will contribute to a feeling of accomplishment. So remember to plan to do your A tasks during your peak energy times during the day. And while you may only want to concentrate on A tasks, these often take a lot of time and effort. So consider spending your time on a mixture of tasks, such as the 3 A's, 2 B's, and 1 C in a prioritized schedule. So far in this training, we've explored the need to organize our tasks around our times of peak energy, which is the first essential part of effective time management. And then we dove into the need to prioritize our time around those tasks that are most important. And next, in the final segment of this training, we're going to look at the third essential part of time management, which is to eliminate distractions. But before we do, I do want to let you know about some special events we have coming up this month. We have our New Moon Sister Circle in Scorpio on November 15th. And our theme is Sacred Sexuality, My Pleasure, My Power. This we do every month in collaboration with the Global Sisterhood Movement. So we're actually synchronizing our circle with sister circles all around the world and contributing to the transformation of global consciousness around these new moon themes. They are free, but you do need to get registered. So go to thewayoftruth.live/sisterhood. And then coming up on the full moon in November, on November 30th, that moon is in Gemini. And so it's quite appropriate that our workshop that evening will be on communication. Say it, hear it, a workshop on the power of effective communication. This is also free as part of the Way of Truth, and you do need to register and print out your worksheets in advance. So go to thewayoftruth.live/communication workshop. All right, so I'm just going to give you a moment to write down those dates and those links. And during your life, have you ever been distracted by something? I mean, that's probably a rhetorical question, right? It's a question that's almost laughable. All of us get distracted numerous times every single day. As a result of all these distractions, our time slips away. And sometimes we feel that we got nothing accomplished of any real significance. So what's going on here? I'm going to show you an image. What do you see? You either see the chalice or the faces, depending on which image space you focus your attention on. When you focus your attention on one image, the other image fades, and vice versa. While the human mind is capable of seeing two different things, it can only see them one at a time. And this happens because our brains are not capable of thinking in parallel. What happens when we switch our focus back and forth between the two things that are competing for our attention? If we focus on only one thing at a time, what does that do for us? There is a cost associated with having our attention go back and forth between two things. every time you switch your attention back and forth, it takes extra intellectual effort to regain your previous state of concentration. We often fail to recognize that the time it takes to regain our concentration is part of the total time we have lost as a result of being distracted. This means that those little distractions and interruptions we put up with in our lives aren't really so little, as they have a huge time management implication. So now let's spend a few minutes recognizing some of the common time distractors we face and their impact. By identifying these common time distractors, we can take steps to minimize them and thus reduce their impact. The motivation behind effective time management is to get more done within a shorter amount of time. The third essential part of time management is to eliminate distractions, which can be very time consuming. Distractions of all kinds will decrease your concentration and keep you from completing important tasks. So let's identify some distractions we may need to address in our lives. So pull out worksheet number 5, time distractors, and note worksheet number 5 is 2 pages in length. I'd like you to take 2 minutes to reflect on and identify all the major time distractors in your lives. So go ahead and press pause on this recording. And then when you're complete, take 2 more minutes and rank the top 5 distractors that have the biggest impact on your productivity. And when you're complete there, I want you to participate in thinking about as many ideas as possible around how to better manage a particular time distractor of your choosing. And I'd love you just to write down what's coming up for you, journal about it in the space on your worksheet. The goal here is to generate as many ideas as possible. No idea is a stupid idea. Even outlandish ideas have their value. And now circle, underline, or highlight 1 or 2 ideas that you'd be willing to apply back in your life. Take as much time as you need with this worksheet and pause this recording and come back when you're complete. Great. This tool you can use in the future to identify your distractors and brainstorm ideas for better managing them. And I want you to pay attention to how you feel. How does it feel to have all these different ideas at your disposal for dealing with time distractors? We all have to deal with time distractors on a daily basis. Learning how to address them can dramatically increase our productivity and effectiveness, as well as reduce stress. Okay, so you have used your time wisely in this training. You've learned a lot about organizing your time, prioritizing your tasks, and eliminating distractions. So in conclusion, let's just take a few minutes to remember how limited and precious your time really is. I'm going to give you $86,400 to spend any way you wish. The only restrictions are you cannot bank any of the money. If you do not use any of the money, you lose it. So take a few moments to decide how you would spend the money and make some notes for yourself. It's fun to think about how you would spend $84,600, but how do you want to spend 86,400 seconds? This is the number of seconds we have in our day. When we think about how we spend our time, we should consider spending it on those things that are important to us, as important to us as our money, something we don't like to waste. All right, that's it for today. I want to thank you for joining me on this training. I hope you found the information valuable. Have a great day. This is Wendy from The Way of Truth saying bye for now.